everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday Night Smackdown. Hi, Mike Lane, here with Daniel Bryan, and with Wade Barrett. And today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're gonna see, you're wondering why Daniel Bryan is with us now. Well, he's already been with us. But why he's here on Friday Night Smackdown now is that Pat McAfee gave up on us. He shifted heel, started scathing how the toy wrestling gathering worked, and thought the toy wrestling gathering was not as good as it once was in the past. Well, you got that right, Daniel Bryan says. Pat McAfee has the right to his own belief, but he can't show that to be true. By being a heel like he is now, there is no way that he could, and he was sadly being, sadly, him being the way he was and shifting heel, and sadly, him shifting heel like he did means that I had to take his spot now. And sadly, it is what it is. Well, I'll tell you right now, Wade Barrett says. I will tell you right now, Wade Barrett says. I'll tell you right now, Wade Barrett says. The way things go, Wade Barrett says, that I'm not going to say that Pat McAfee was right for what he said, but he is kind of right. I mean, in the past we did have runs in and beatdowns, but I don't know if that makes the work made it before more good than the past was, Wade Barrett says. Well, here comes God Jorah now. Here comes God Jorah coming to the ring now. Alright, Pat McAfee. You think you talked to me last week, started this thing, and yes, you're right. I did come to the toy wrestling gathering last year. Alright? I came to toy wrestling gathering in 1998 YL. During a time where the WWF was big into their stand lifetime. And yes, in the past, Pat McAfee, there was a lot of runs in and beatdowns during that time. Anyone who ever goes back to watch any of those discs, which we did put some of those filmed to disc, can see that. But at the end of the day, Pat McAfee, it doesn't make it true that the before is more good than the now. And you coming after me, and you striking me from behind. Let me tell you something, Pat McAfee. I don't really think you have all that much. I don't really think you have any room to speak, to tell you the truth. You came from football. And let's all be earnest about that. A former skilled football player talking about how he thinks that skilled wrestling isn't good or thinking that the toy wrestling gathering, has lost its edge. Now that's a belief. Oh! And Pat McAfee just did a DDT and took down God Jorah, King of the Fiends. Oh, what's that, God Jorah? What's that? You're saying, yeah, I'm a former skilled football player. Now a skilled wrestler now. It's true, that's what I am now. But you ain't doing a whole lot of talking now, since I struck you from behind. Let me watch what I did on the gridiron all those years. And it looks like the war between Pat McAfee and God Jorah is still going on, Mike. Mike Lane says. It looks like that is not coming to an end, anytime soon. And I wonder if Atomicus, the King of Thieves, the main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, is going to have to step in and say something. Pat McAfee, you're not going to keep on striking folks from behind. No, you're not. You're going to have a match here today against God Jorah. Wow. This time, I'm going to beat him, Autolygus. And we'll see if that happens. We'll see if that does happen here today on Friday Night Smackdown. And God Jorah is in the ring now, looking for Pat McAfee. And now we got the fight keeper in the ring now. Oh, look. Oh my God, Daniel Bryan said Pat McAfee wanted to strike God Jorah from behind. He wanted to do what he did before, only now when it's in the match, he's not so good with it. You got that right, Daniel Bryan says. Pat McAfee wanted to strike God Jorah from behind like a weakling, and sadly, God Jorah is ready for him. Wade Barrett says, let me tell you something. Pat McAfee is going to get lucky one of these days. One of these days he's going to beat God Jorah. Even if I don't believe what he talks about, I do believe what he speaks of. And God Jorah wanted to do it. Pat McAfee grabbed him by his tail and slammed him down. So how can you look up to a man, Daniel Bryan says, who grabs someone by their tail and slams them in the wrestling ring? Well, Wade Barrett says, I say I look what he does in a ring. That's what I say. And once he's going to beat God Jorah like that. And watch, if he beats God Jorah, King of the Fiends, he's going to be showing that he's right, that the past, that the before, is more good than the now. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Pat McAfee. Well, Pat McAfee has beat God Jorah here today on Friday Night Smackdown. And we all know that Pat McAfee is going to talk about this forever. And he's going to believe in his mind that the past, that the before, is more good than the now. Mike Lane says. You got that right, Daniel Bryan says. He's going to work this win, and he's going to think in his mind that makes his belief true. But it does not make his belief true. No, it does not make his belief true, not at all. At the end of the day, it does not. Well, Wade Barrett says, at the end of the day, Pat McAfee did get a win against Godzilla, and that is something that he didn't believe he would get. Alright, take it away now, Michael Cole. Thank you, Mike Lane. I'm going to be talking with Pat McAfee here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Stand up! Alright, Pat, stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Great, now he won't stand up anymore. Stand up. What, you can't stand up anymore? Stand up! Stand up! Alright, Pat McAfee. I have worked with you for many years in the toy wrestling gathering and also in WWE as well. And I think it's kind of sad that you now believe that the before was more good than the past. Come on, Michael Cole. You know how cool things were in the past. You know how cool things were in the life that they were, and the Heartless, the Stand and Heartless Might. I mean, in the toy wrestling gathering, we had runs in and beatdowns. Hell, that was before your time. That was before my time. Well, it's true in the past there were a lot of runs in and beatdowns and sagas and tales going on. That's true, Pat. But it doesn't make the before, greater than the past. It does not make that true. And this war you started with Godzilla, which I don't understand it at all. This war that you have made between you and Godzilla, which I don't understand what that's all about. To tell you the truth, Godzilla is from that before. He's been at toy wrestling gathering since between 198 YL. And sadly, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to believe that the before was more good than the past. And so that's why I started a war with him. You saw me beat him right here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Well, Pat McAfee believes that the before is more good than the now. Back to you, Mike Lane. Well, thank you, Michael Cole, for talking with Pat McAfee here today on Friday Night Smackdown. That's all the time we got here for Friday Night Smackdown. I, Mike Lane, with Daniel Bryan and Wade Barrett. We hope you like Friday Night Smackdown, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.